Hello everyone, my name is Quad and welcome to a guide on Tellurium. Tellurium is one of the most frustrating resources to farm in Warframe because you can only farm it at very specific places. You will need about 320 Tellurium to craft every single thing in the game at least once, which is quite a lot since the drop chance is abysmal. In this video, we will go over every single way to get it for the starters, returning players, veterans, everything. So let's first start with the basics. When it comes to farming Tellurium, I really recommend you get a lot of Loot Radar, since Thieves' Wit and Loot Detector increase your Loot Radar distance. They are the perfect mods to get on your Warframe if you're trying to farm pretty much anything. If you also have a companion such as Taxon, a Kavat, or more, you can also get Animal Instinct from one of the Nightmare missions or Primed Animal Instinct from Barroqueteer, which will also increase Loot Radar distance. The most crucial mods are also Vacuum if you have a robotic companion such as Sentinel, or Fetch if you have a biological companion such as Kavat or a Kubro. Please get these mods on because all the loot you're going to get will get vacuumed into you. Honestly, these mods are essential for farming since you will not lose any of the little bits of resources that will be crucial later on in the game when you get the Helminth and so on. Anyways, if you're playing Warframe solo, farming Tellurium will be the most nightmarish experience in your life because it only drops from the enemies. So, to sum everything up, there are only 3 reliable ways to get it. The first one are the Archwing missions, the second one, the Submersible missions, and the third one, the Railjack missions. So, let's go over them one at a time. You will be able to farm Tellurium after you get the Archwing quest done, which is early game and you should be able to do it quite quickly. This will unlock the Archwing missions around the Origin system, for example, Airpo here on Earth. It is a mobile defense and you can see that this is an Archwing mission because of the little symbol just behind the name, plus it says in the bracket at the end. The drop chance of Tellurium in Archwing missions is 1 out of 500 enemies, which is 0.2% chance, one of the lowest drop chances in the game. Because of this, farming Tellurium in Archwing missions is in my opinion not good at all, since you will have to kill, well, look at this, there's like 20 enemies and we need to kill 500 on average for 1 Tellurium. It is absolutely terrible. If you're playing in a full squad though, this may be a little bit better, but still, Archwing missions are not that good. If you don't like the Archwing missions, you can also play Submersible missions, which also have the same symbol and Submersible in the bracket next to it. There is a lot of Archwing missions, but there is only one Submersible one that is good for farming Tellurium, and that is Ophelia Survival on Uranus. The only way to get Tellurium in this mission is to kill enemies as quickly as possible, since only 1 out of 500 enemies will drop Tellurium. At least that is the drop chance. The Tellurium has no deposit as well, so destroying crates is not recommended unless you're also looking for plastids and gallium here. But yeah, you just need to kill enemies, and on average 500 enemies will drop 1 Tellurium, which is insane. But there is a lot of boosters you can use to get more Tellurium here. So let's go over them real quick. If you want to get even more resources from the enemies, you can get the Resource Booster and the Resource Drop Chance Booster, which help quite a lot. Of course, you can also play as any of the loot frames such as Necros, Korra, Ivara, Atlas, and so on. Just remember to have one of the augments for them for easier farming. For example, Despoil for the Necros' Desecrate ability, because everything becomes a lot better and easier to farm when you have it. You don't have to waste energy, but you will waste health instead, which you can actually get extremely easily with the augment. If you choose Necros, you can also play with Ripkas and later on get the Amalgam Ripkas True Steel, which will have a 100% gore chance with it, which means you will get more body parts and with this, more enemies to desecrate. Oh yeah, don't look at the build right here. It's terrible. If you have a Smita Kavat, you can get the Charm mod, which will double the amount of resources if the Kavat decides to cast the ability for it. Yeah, it is rare, but it does help not only for Tellurium, but also for other resources, so I recommend getting it. If you have any of the sentinels, you may also use the spare parts mod, which will mark an enemy every 15 seconds for 5 seconds. That will become a loot bag pretty much with a 200% drop chance for any resource, which is not the best, but it works. If you go on any of the relays, you also have a chance to get the double resource blessing, which Master Rank 30 or higher players can bless you with. Right here, resource drop chance booster, and everyone is blessed with more resources. This blessing will increase the drop chance of all the resources by 25%, which is not a lot, but it's still great. Later on in the game, you will also unlock the Steel Path, which will increase the drop chance of resources by 100%. So let's quickly do a little bit of math. The base drop chance of Tellurium is 0.002%, which means 1 out of 500 enemies on average will drop Tellurium. If we have the double resource drop chance booster, we can have that to 250 enemies on average for 1 Tellurium. If we have the resource booster, we can also have what we have then to 125 enemies on average for 1 Tellurium. Additionally, if you try to do Steel Path, the drop chance of resources also increases by 100%, which means around 125 halved is... how much is that? That is around 62.5 enemies, and I'm not even counting the resource drop chance blessing we have and the Necros's Desecrate ability. So yeah, the point I'm trying to make here is try to get as many boosters as possible, because farming Tellurium is just a pain in the ass if you try to get a lot of it. For this guide, I will try to play Ophelia Survival on Uranus and will then report the amount of Tellurium I got in those 20 minutes. So, let me show you. And here we go! In 21 minutes, if I'm right, I got 52 Tellurium, which is... 53 minutes, sorry. I got 52 Tellurium, which is not that bad at all. So yeah, here you go. All the boosters stacked will bring you a lot of freaking Tellurium. And the last way to get Tellurium reliably are the Railjack missions, which may not be the funnest out of all the Warframe experience, but they do bring you Tellurium. Still, 1 out of 500 enemies will drop it, so playing survival missions, for example on Venus, may be quite good, you know. I do not recommend you play survival missions or any other endless mission in Warframe's Railjack Proximus, because the drop chances are lower, especially if you're not on the Steel Path, but to let you know how people feel about farming Tellurium, here are a couple of comments. And some people are really happy with getting just a few pieces, which is absolutely insane. The thing is, stacking the boosters is the only way to farm Tellurium, in my opinion, because it is such a bad grind. However, if you are really desperate, there is one more way, which will require platinum, and that is buying it off the market. 10 platinum for 1 Tellurium, which is not a lot, but it is still too much, in my opinion. So, if you really want Tellurium, try to wait up a bit and farm it later on when you have at least one of the boosters, because life will get at least half times easier, I guess. With this, I thank you for watching. I am very sorry to be the bringer of the bad news of not being able to farm Tellurium in large quantities in a easy mission, but someone had to do it, I guess. You also have seen that getting a lot of Tellurium is possible, doing quick 20-minute missions 6 times in a row would get me to 300 Tellurium, which is all I need for the whole gameplay of Warframe at the end of the game. So yeah, I can craft everything at least once now with my stockpile of 800 Tellurium. And I got 52 today in just 20 minutes. It is absolutely insane how good Ophelia Survival is with all the boosters. Anyways though, thank you for watching again, and I wish you a very nice grind, and I bless you with a frickin' drop chance booster, or at least a little bit of luck from the... not RNGesus. RNGesus is no more my friend. Lucifer. Yes, Lucifer. He's my bro now. Thank you again, and have a nice day. Bye, guys.